Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Par Ranjit's Sarpata Parambara, which stars Arya and Pasupati in the main roles and which is now on Amazon Prime. Now, when I saw Mahesh Narayanan's Malik, the Malayalam movie with Fahad Fasil a few weeks ago, I loved that film and I was left with this question. Given how different the Tamil and the Malayalam film industries are and given how different the audiences are, is it possible to make something like Malik in Tamil? With Sarpata Parambara, I finally have the answer, and it is a big fat yes. I'll tell you my points of comparisons between the two films, right? Malik and Sarpata Parambara, because structurally they're very similar. Both films are epic in scope and sprawl, and yet they are very intimate in terms of emotions. One could say they almost deal with micro emotions. The broad arc of both films is a very generic template. Like Mahesh Narayanan himself said, his film Malik was like Godfather or Nayakan, and Sarpata Parambara is like every underdog story, every underdog boxer story that you've seen. But this is just a broad narrative arc. Both films dive down so deep into their specific milieus, into their specific characters, and in such subtle ways that the old familiar templates become fresh all over again. Point number three, both films are quite long, but this is not a problem at all because both films are so filled with incident and character action that they are very dense and they just whiz by. And both films have a very documentary like integrity. They document very specific places, people, and communities, and also very specific politics. Sarpata Parambara is set in the mid 1970s, which means that we are at the period of the emergency. But in Tamil Nadu, we also have the DMK, which is resisting the emergency, and we also see the eventual rise of the MGR-led AIA-DMK. In fact, one of the robes worn by a boxer actually has the DMK emblem logo at the back. And a song begins with the words Van Vidinjachu, which literally means rising sun. Number four, in both films, the hero, Fahad Fasil there, Arya here, they are not glorified or romanticized. They are very lifelike figures, flaws and all. And finally, and most importantly, most crucially, both films are superb examples of form. Both films are superb examples of cinematic art. And that is why I'm going to look at my phone now and read out the list. The cinematography is by Murali G. The editor is Selva RK. And they make us feel every punch. They immerse us into this world. The music is by Santosh Narayanan. He's done an amazing job. The costume designer is Egan Ekambaram. The production designer is T. Ramalingam. Again, these people are usually people we don't notice, but because it's a period movie, their contributions are absolutely crucial. The sound designer is Pratap and Anthony Rubin. Again, superb job. They don't overdo the boxing sounds. There is no expressionism here. It's all very realistic. And the writers are Tamil Prabha and Par Ranjit. It is very rare to find a film where everybody, almost everybody, is at the top of their game. And I include the director alone himself because Sarpata Parambara is Ranjit's best, his finest film yet. Now let's do a little flashback here, right? Now, Ranjit started out with Attakati and his directing talents were evident right away. It's a wonderful film about a guy, a loser, who keeps repeating the same pattern over and over again. And even though the screenplay seemed repetitive, there was not one moment that seemed repetitive to us as an audience. So he burst onto the scene as a talent and he grew into an even better director with Madras, the film that all of you guys say that I didn't get. He took a cliched story of youngsters being manipulated by politicians, I call it Subramaniapuram meets Satya, and he made it into something greater than the sum of its parts, especially with The Wall, which seemed like something right out of a horror movie. But Ranjit's next two outings, the mediocre Kabali and the slightly better Kala, made me fear that we were losing a wonderful director to his ideologies, that he's a fine filmmaker, but somehow he's getting lost in wanting to convey a lot through this medium that might be better left to orators or to essays or articles rather than the cinematic form, or maybe he wasn't finding the right way to express it cinematically. Sarpata Parambara, therefore, is a big relief. Ranjit is in glorious form both as writer and as director in this underdog story of a boxer named Kabilan, played by Arya. I'll give you just one scene as an example, the nearly 20-minute opening scene, which, like Malik, established the milieu with such authenticity, with such specificity, the boxing milieu, that we just kind of absorb it all in one go. Actually, I'll give you another scene as well. The scene where the coach, played by Pasupati, proposes Arya's name, that is Kabilan's name, for a do or die match. Now, at one point of this whole scene is staged in a space, right? Now, in one corner, Pasupati is saying, "I want Arya to play in this match." At one point, other people are mocking him. In another corner, there people are mocking him, and then simultaneously, Arya is saying, "No, I cannot do this. I cannot box." There is so much happening in this scene, and the coverage is so beautiful that you kind of get this real life sensation where your attention is not being focused to one thing, but there's just like these simultaneous things happening all at once. The direction is spectacular. Why does Sarpata Parambara work when so many underdog boxing movies like the recent Tufan seem so cliched and so boring? It's because Kabilan is not a one dimensional character. This is not just about his relationship with his coach or with his wife. There's also his mother. There's also the wonderful Anglo Indian neighbors that he has. They're almost like family. With the barest of brushstrokes, he becomes a fully three dimensional character. And I could say this of all the characters. They're all very colorful, they're all very interesting. And of course, with this costume and period detail, they're even more interesting than the narrative allows them to be. There is an oppressor character here, and he's cliched in the sense that he doesn't really do much that you haven't seen such characters do in other films. But even the detailing around him, at least the events he's in, are so specific and so beautifully written that he comes across as someone fresh. Now, take this point. The mother, Arya's mother, has a very, very specific reason she does not want him to box. But Arya becomes a boxer because of his love for and his loyalty to his coach. And much later, when the coach realizes that Arya has become exactly the kind of person that his mother feared that he would become as a boxer, he kicks him out. Look how beautifully interlocked the whole screenplay is. But my favorite stroke of writing genius has to be this. Usually, in a film of this nature, you have this underdog at the beginning, right? And then he goes up, he goes down, and then you have the big finale. The big do or die match happens right at the climax, right at the end. That's when he fights the opponent, the crucial opponent, right? Here, I'm trying not to spoil this too much for you, but here, about 1.5 hours into the movie, this fight almost happens. And I was like, oh my god, like, okay, we're just 1.5 hours into this movie, and this big climax fight, which is supposed to happen, is already happening. So, what's going to happen for the rest of the movie? Well, we still get the climax fight, but we also get a truckload of more story, and we get a truckload of detail and more detail, and we see how hard they worked even to make the inevitable training montage look so different. I love this particular phrase that comes in the song that plays over this training montage. Niye tadai, niye vidai. You are the obstacle, that is, you are the problem, you are also the solution. So that's Kabilan right then. He has created his obstacle, his problem, and now he has to fix himself. He has to find a solution. I really found this beautiful. Now, in the recent Film Companion South interview, Ranjit said that this film, Sarpata Parambara, is not so much about caste as it is about class. It's about a blue collar worker becoming a boxer who wears blue colored gloves. Now, the significance of this color, I will leave to the decoders. But there is something that actually resembles caste in this movie, and that is the Parambarais themselves. The Parambarais are the clans of boxing, if you want a loose translation. Now, within these clans, there are rivalries. What started as one clan when the Indians learned the sport from the British, when these Tamilians learned the sport from the British, now that has become as divisive as the caste system outside. Within the small ecosystem itself, there are oppressors, there are the oppressed. Again, there's nothing very explicit about this, and there's some of it is just tossed off in casual dialogue, like how Kabilan's father was once treated like a slave. But as a character asks, why are these parambarais associated with manam, that is honor? Why are these clans associated with pride and honor? Why not just fight? Why don't they just fight and let the best man win? And this again brings to mind the kind of pride that people often associated with caste. That's caste pride, right? Now, I'm not saying all this is there like as a crucial driving point in the movie, because this is that underdog boxing story. That's the main driver of the story. That's the engine. But it's just a nice little continuation of the things that Ranjit keeps talking about, and this film is wholly not without them. There are very few problem areas actually, and very, very easy to brush aside. I wish the history of Indian boxing as delivered by the coach, I wish it had been integrated a little better into the screenplay instead of seeming like a bit of a lecture. He just starts talking and the whole story just tumbles out. Now, Kalaiarasan plays the coach Pasupati's son, and I wish his character had a more detailed arc. Though he does get one fantastic scene with his family where we see where his angst is coming from and what that angst has reduced him to. But otherwise, from start to finish, Sarpata Parambara is one hell of a watch, and the performances are especially fantastic. They range from, I mean, the lowest you can grade them is solid, and some of them are absolutely fantastic. Let's begin with Arya as Kabilan. Now, Arya has never made me tear up in a movie before, but here in a scene where he says he's going to take up boxing again, and when Santosh Narayanan's anthem like music played in the background, I was like, it really happened. Dushara Vijayan is fantastic as Kabilan's wife. She's a lovely, lusty, supportive woman who even gets a bit of an unexpected action scene. Two supporting characters make a very good impression. One of them is Anupama Kumar, who plays Arya's mother. Another is Sanjana Natarajan, who plays Kalaiarasan's wife. But the film belongs to two people, and they are John Vijay and Pasupati. John Vijay is just fantastic as this Anglo-Indian who says things like ginger than a monkey. He's like, he doesn't make it a cliche though, because that Anglo-Indianness, it just seems to reside in him. And I don't know whether they did workshops or what to kind of get him there, but he's absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, a colorful character who's not just colorful, but also he has soul. That within all those eccentricities, all those funny things that we keep laughing at, he has real soul. This is easily his best performance ever. And Pasupati as the coach, he aces it from the very first scene. We see him like he's in that boxing, that big setup which introduces us to this milieu. He's there and like he's watching someone lose, and his eyes are filling up with kind of tears. The tears of frustration, the tears of sadness, and from there on till the end, the man just completely owns the character and is practically the protagonist of this film. So I'm going to end with one more comparison to Malik. I wish this had been released on the big screen because it really deserves that canvas. I really wish I had seen it in a theater. That's it for Sarpata Parambarai. If you like this video, do subscribe to Film Companion South and see you soon at the movies.